So the first thing we're going to do is rename the project. So we'll edit the make file and call it simple server mongo. Now we're going to edit the metadata because we're going to require the mongo relation, so we'll go and add that. And because we require the mongo relation, we need to add the mongo layer now, the mongo interface layer. And this will get used when we build our project. We don't need to change anything in Go binary yet. We're going to change our server. So this was the old server. Because this is an example, I'm just going to quickly paste in the example server that we'll be using. And all this will do is read from a config file, the Mongo URL, and it will list the database names for the Mongo server we're connected to. And so it's a YAML config file that it expects. So we're going to remove the old server and we'll build our new one. Obviously when you come to do your charm, it's expected that this bit is already done, but this is just an example, so we're including the server source. So our example config file will look something like this. We don't need this example for this charm, but this is just to show you what it will look like. So now one of the arguments we need to pass to the server is the name of the config file. So that's going to be put in except for my server config.yaml, and we'll come back to this later when we edit the hooks. But that's where we're going to want to put it. And now we're going to make the template for that file. So this is going to be a Ginger template that the hooks are going to know how to fill in for us. So it's Mongo URL, so it looks exactly like the example config that we just made. But it's going to be the DB host name, which we're going to be getting from the relation, and DB port. So both these values we're going to get from the relation, and you'll see us fill those in when we edit the hooks in a moment. So let's go and edit the hooks. So this was the contents of the file from the simple server charm, which was the original. I'm just going to copy and paste in the code, so that will be a bit quicker. So first of all, we don't want to start our server unless the database relationship has been established, and this database available is what we're going to be looking for. That means that the relationship would have been set up. Website available, we don't need to change. So this function is going to be called when GoBinary is started, but when the database isn't connected, so there's no database relationship, and that's going to remove the GoBinary start state, so it won't start our server, and it will set the status to be blocked and please add relation. So that will prompt the user that that our binary has been installed, but they now need to add the MongoDB relation. So now this waiting DB function is going to be called when the database is connected, but the relation's not yet fully established. So this is sort of the initial stages of setting up this relation, and all we're going to be doing here is updating the user that the status has changed, but we're just waiting to set everything up. So this is where we're going to be filling in that config Ginger template. So when the database is connected and it's available, we're going to remove the GoBinary start state, and we're going to get the config from the hook environment, and then we're going to create a file in acceptor my server config. Remember, that was the argument that we passed into the GoBinary package. And we're going to build that. So we sort of glossed a bit over what was happening in the hooks, but there's not really any magic going on in there. So if you want to take a look, I recommend just having a look at the code. Okay, we're built, so let's go and deploy the charm. So let's have a look at the status, see if we're deployed. So you see we've already got MongoDB deployed. I did that in a previous step. So we're now waiting for the simple server Mongo charm to be deployed. There we go. You see, please add relation to MongoDB. So we're set up. We just need to add our relation. Juju add relation. Simple server Mongo, and then MongoDB. So have a look at the status again. It will say waiting. And then ready, and we're now listening on 8080. So we're going to expose it so that we're able to access it. It's local, so that was listing the database names for the MongoDB server we were connected to. So at the moment it's just the local one on there. So just to prove that that's working as we expect, let's go and add a database. So let's just make a Hello World database, or just insert something into there. If we query again, we can see Hello World and local.